Oh, I had last extra back episode of Shipyard Champions. I think it's the Admiral Olympics. Day 3. I'm in Division 2 versus Bursily and Panzer Iron Wolf. Wait, no, it's not. It's poor something. Just Iron Wolf. I can never remember the name. My brain breaks every time I read it. It's Iron Wolf. It's something about navigation. That's all I remember. I must fight all ships, but I will choose the first one. First one is I'm scored for, and the second one is just required. So I will take on Panzer Iron Wolf first. Let me check what ship that was again. Panzer Iron Wolf is Italian Empire, 8 kilometers a day. I made a Chinese vessel, which you will see once I load them. Is it? I'm trying to remember, going back. The 2 ships has 2 heavy cruisers for either side. I'm just double checking the ranging, because I know where was it? Where is it? There it is. 18 kilometers. And clear and day. Clear and day. Welcome to the Rishi. It doesn't move that fast and has maximum bolt heads and the most crew possible, with a 11-inch top batteries and then 9-inch deck batteries. And then a billion 5.4-inch secondary casemates. I'm going to have to try to get closer to really be effective with this ship. I don't have any torpedo launchers, but I do have underdeck water launchers. We do have a detonation chance of 0.8, and we have maximum armor. And I have calculated the theoretical possible penetration, because okay, well, just from my guns versus me is 1.4. I'm assuming it could be a bit higher with cap ballistics. I've theoretically calculated the best amount of armor for the weight and 2-inch deck across, and then with a lot more internal deck armor as well to prevent internal damage, and then hard, very thick turrets. Anyway, I think that's it. I don't need to actually, I'm not going to modify anything, so let me just launch it. And it's the Archimede. Yep. The hell? And I have theoretically The main thing about being at this range, long ranging it with this type of gun is probably not a great idea, because it's already going to be really hard to hit things at this range without radar. It's more likely going to be luck shots than anything else. Because I assumed with 18 kilometers that they had a long-range build, or attempted long-range build. The 9-inch guns, that's not going to, even with cap ballistic, that's not going to have great pinning power. I forget which gun station did I use. Stereoscopic. I just want to know how many rounds I have to wait through before they have to get closer to use their secondaries. And that's going to be the main thing that's going to kill the ship, I theoretically believe. It's just going to not do damage or do partial pins until it just runs out of ammunition. You only have that as your main weapon. You also only you have the anti-long range. If you're going to be single gunned, theoretically it makes more sense to have this, but the problem is it's also long range. And that really messes with accuracy. So you got a bit of shells on you, but the problem is you're using HE because I'm assuming your AP can't pin me at this range. Yeah, the deck penetrating power is actually pretty... Actually, wait. What is the range? 20 kilometers. You do theoretically have a great penetrating power through my deck. Problem is, that's it. And if you were closer, you would actually be doing damage. Problem is, you're not. And you're just going to stay at range until you run out of ammunition. gonna force it to chase me, because I'm not gonna ever be able to catch it, because I'm assuming it's faster. I didn't even look at the thing. It's probably 20 kilometers. So I'll just have it hit my back armor, then hit a little bit of my front armor. It's good that we have all the internal armor for the deck, even though there's not that much deck armor. How much ammo has it chewed through? It's gone through a lot of its ammunition already. It's also using all of its HE because it thinks it will overpin the deck, and its HE might have the ability to possibly pin my deck. Theoretically, it really depends on how close they get. Problem is they're just maintaining this extreme range, and it's not helping them. So you have Cap Ballistic 2, and there's a reason why you don't want to use Cap Ballistic 2 all the time, is that it doesn't do a lot of damage. It will pin. Problem is the pins do a lot less damage. Because you only really want to use it when you know you're facing an enemy that is really armored. And you don't think your gun's going to be able to pin them at all. Oh yeah, this is a fast heavy cruiser. Meaning I would have to wait for them to run out of fuel. Which do they have? How much fuel did I actually got? Oh, this is just painful, because now the ship's not even engaging me, it's just sitting at range. Am I just gonna have to sit here until time runs out? Because their ship ain't gonna try to engage me. So just turn around and hit the time button until something happens. The problem is, even if I had set my equipment to be long-ranged, due to that, me not having an amazing amount of speed that that thing has, I wasn't gonna really even catch them and or do damage, because long-range fights in the 1920s were not the best. You're more likely going to miss than not. Try something. I'll try breaking out the formation. To force the AI to maneuver in a way I want it to. I really wish if a ship wasn't firing, we could go 39 speed. I'm so bored. I'm about to just like mute my mic and play on my phone because this is actually unbearable. Heard anything about no one dies? Just a draw? 'Cause the thing is, we don't even like on the scoring. There's not even like this is not even medium damage. So this is a 0-0. If this is just a straight draw. This isn't medium damage. This is barely any, like, barely a scratch on my paint. This is why you really don't design a long-range ship in 1920. I really don't want to wait like 40 some minutes to end this battle. And I'm not forfeiting, because it's not killing me. It's just doing a constant run pattern. And it's not even using its ammunition anymore that I know it has plenty of. I do find it funny that that Iron Wolf made it basically a speedboat that was supposed to be for long range and staying at long range. And a speedboat that stays at long range in the 1920s means it'll basically never hit. So, unless in Panzer Iron Wolf's video versus me, he gets close, he's not going to do any damage. Like, unless he gets a really lucky critical hit. And that's not going to be very likely. As at 20 kilometers, the damage was outright insignificant due to how much armor I had. And that was just because deck hits and I hadn't armored up fully for the deck. So if I had fully armored up the deck, make it really hard to pen at long range, I wouldn't have taken any damage. But I was, more of expecting cap ballistics than hyperballistics. I sometimes overlook cap ballistics because I sometimes just don't see it as useful unless I'm really trying to gamble to just get penetrations. Alright, at the 7-hour mark, I'm going to call the battle and just call it a draw. I'm not playing this entire battle out to the outright end. There is no point, because they're not going to ever get close enough to attack me. And I'm not going to ever get close enough to attack them either. And they're just going to stay at range. And I can't fast forward through all this time because every time they spot me, it stops time. It slows it back down to 5 times. There's nothing in the rules about this, but I under reasonable expectations, this is a draw. Because I don't want to spend like 3 hours to the point to get to like 0 time, that's a loss, I'm calling BS. Because physically the ship can't hurt me because it refuses to attack me. I'm wondering if this might be the same for Broceli's ship. I don't know how it's designed. Because it is constantly, like, angling itself away to get further away from the ship, even though it doesn't need to. It's well out of my gun range. Come on, just get to 7. I'm calling it at 7. Alright, there we go! I call this a draw, as there's no way I can attack them and no way they can attack me, as they refuse to attack me anymore, even though they have still ammunition. And they have basically done no damage to me, which doesn't even make the medium damage roll. So it's a 0-0 for this battle. I ain't fighting that all the way out until I ain't wasting all my not wasting my time and I'm not wasting your time. Hold on. You go check Broceli's design conditions. Battle conditions, Broceli 10 kilometers. So I might actually, you know, have the range for this. That was designed around 10 kilometers fighting. Oh, wait, well, clear and day. Clear and day. What was this called? Admiral Markov. That? Hold on. Okay, I was about to be concerned because they didn't say Admiral Markov at the beginning, so I was very confused. Why do you have a lot higher accuracy than I do? Let me guess, you have range on this, don't you? Yeah, you have the maximum range, meaning it's just gonna run. You have a lot of ammunition, is the question. I love mono fucking gun designs, it's so fucking wonderful. Let me just have one turret. As long as I stay at this, it should most likely ricochet, because I'm assuming it's all cap ballistics. And cap ballistic, cap ballistic. Ah yes, the magical shell lands inside torpedo tube and destroys it. I love it. It seems like way too common that happens in this game. That like a shell just hits the torpedo tube directly on, landing right down the middle of the torpedo tube. And this is the one thing about cap ballistics, I think, because I have to look at the stats, makes it higher chance to ricochet. So, when I'm doing this hard angle on it, it kind of like, you know, deflects all the shells. Its rate of ammunition expenditure, it's going to run out of shells. Hopefully before it sinks my ship. So he doesn't get the points. And this is kind of why I stopped adding torpedo tubes on my deck, on my underwater torpedo tubes, because magically, somehow, a shell just constantly lands in the fucking torpedo tube and penetrates the ship. Because there can be apparently zero armor behind a torpedo tube. Well, I don't think I've taken medium damage, because I think medium damage be at least about half the ship's health. And heavy damage is under that. I think this would still be considered light damage in even the campaign. And they've ran away again. Because of course they ran away again, because the AI's outright cowards. I don't know why the AI's programmed like this, like to try to desperately save itself. This is a battle. This is not a campaign battle. Doesn't make any sense. Oh, god damn it, I hate this. I hate this shit. I hate this battle design type. Because long-range fights suck in the 1920s. They just do. I'm gonna turn around. I'm gonna try to time warp to 7 hours, because once that hits 7 hour mark, I'm gonna call another draw. Because they physically aren't attacking me anymore, and they didn't really do any damage. Yes, they have obliterated the front section of the ship, but the problem is that's still considered light damage. If this is somehow counted as medium damage, I'm done. If me not wanting to play out this entire battle is considered forfeiting, I'm also done. I mean, I'd just be done with the season then. Because this shit's already painful as it is. As you think, even with torpedo tubes on the enemy vessel, they would then attempt to gain, like, close distance to use their torps. But they don't. So they just cowered themselves out and just not do anything for the entirety of the battle. Actually, no, screw it. I'm calling it 8 hours, because I'm not suffering this for, like, 30 minutes. If they haven't if they haven't fired a shell in that this 1 hour in-game period, battle's over. They're not gonna fire the shell for the rest of the entire allotted time. Even to think about adding like 8 billion range to a ship, once the fire chance gets too low, they won't fire the shell anyway, so... This is like, Polly team, just get to the 8-hour mark so we end this battle, because they haven't fired a single shell. It's just them spotting me is, for some reason, a reason to slow down time. Yeah, this is so much fun. This is really so much fun to watch. You just not have fun. The other two challenges, admittedly, I think were better. But like heavy arc cruiser at like when someone can just long range it and then nothing happens because they long ranged it is gonna just. Because the thing is, if someone fights my ships, like Barcelina's got, I think I have a decent time fighting my ships because he actually has the ability to pin, and he can just stay close or just stay right out of my range and do a lot of pinning and do a lot of damage. I don't know if he'll sink my ships because of how little ammunition he has on board. Because when you mono a ship like this, and it only has one type of ammunition, even if you max out the ammunition cap, you're still going to have ammunition problems. And that's why you do want secondaries, just so if you ever run out of ammunition, you have something to attempt to do damage. Alright, they haven't fired a single shell in an ending game hour. I'm calling it a draw. I still haven't taken medium damage. This isn't even below 75% damage, if you want to consider medium damage 75%. So, another draw! No points for anybody! Woo! I hate this challenge. I'm done with it. Why?